What is up? It is Andy here with your final series preview of the second round. We had to wait a bit for these two teams because they both went to Game 7. We got a Western Conference Division semifinal, that's what they call it, right? Or the Stanley Cup quarterfinal, or the conference semifinal. I don't know what you want to call it. It has 55 names. It's like Ron Artest or P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. It's the division semifinals, a.k.a. Stanley Cup quarterfinals. We're down to a Western Conference series between two teams who are in the final 8. And these two teams, out of all these playoff teams, are the two that, if you trust the analytics or the eye test, are really lucky to be here. In the case of the Dallas Stars, they're a team who won 2 coin flip overtime games and were able to come back down 2 in the third period of a Game 7. And then in the case of the Winnipeg Jets, a team that was trailing in games 1 and 7 at home in the third period and got absolutely waxed in all of their road games. So these two teams are a little fortunate to be here, but that's kind of one of the beautiful things about the NHL / one of the sad things, the most infuriating things when you're a fan of one of those other teams where you're like, we should be there, but we're not. I mean, the St. Louis Blues were literally 1 second away from being in this round, and now they are not. Hockey is just one of those sports, whether it's goaltending or a bounce, or things just kind of don't go your way, like multiple overtimes in a series with the Avalanche. You can progress to the next round, and many times a team who doesn't deserve to win a round, one series, will then outplay a team and then lose around the next series. It's so funny how the NHL works. But between these two teams, you kind of have teams, I don't want to say trending in opposite directions, but you definitely have one team who's getting progressively healthier, and then another team who's just falling apart kind of at the seams. And when you're a team like the Winnipeg Jets and they're the team who's falling apart at the seams, when you play the kind of style that they do, when you play an uber physical style and you pour on the pressure, sometimes that comes with playing a game like that. If you want to engage in these type of series, it drains a lot out of you and the injuries start to pile up. We've seen that with the Carolina Hurricanes over the years. There's only so many times you could ask Paul, well, I don't think you can ask Paul Walker, that you can hit the nos in a series, and the Winnipeg Jets are really feeling the effects of those injuries. They lost their top center in Mark Scheifele. They lost their top defenseman in Josh Morrissey. They just got Nikolai Ehlers back, and they just got Gabe Vilardi back, so we don't even know how truly healthy they are. So this is going to be a relatively tall order for the team that actually has home ice advantage in this series, and I bring that up because when push comes to shove, the Winnipeg Jets, I believe, had a top 2 or 3 home record in the NHL, and they also were 4-0 in round 1. By hook or by crook, they won every single home game, and this is a team that will have home ice in every single round that they play, but they find themselves pretty big underdogs in this series. And can you really blame them when Connor Hellebuyck, who's supposed to be the MVP of this team, literally put up home games, road games? I know he got pulled from the road games, but look at some of those ducks he gave up at home. Getting corners picked on him, it was brutal. So naturally you'd think, I mean, if they don't have Hellebuyck playing his best and they don't have any of those players on the ice and they're dealing with all sorts of injuries, this is an easy Dallas waxing, right? I have a weird little theory here. I mean, Connor Hellebuyck has screwed so many people in the playoffs who have had faith in him. I do want to pose the thought. I don't know if you've ever had like a renewed lease on life when you shouldn't even be there, like Final Destination, you escape death. I think the weight of the world is off Connor Hellebuyck's shoulders in this series. They're not supposed to win. You have an injured team. You truly played the absolute worst you possibly could. And granted, he can still continue to do that because he's never shown the ability to come up big in these games. But I will say this. The pressure is off. And as Lois Einhorn once said, what would you know about pressure? Well, Hellebuyck has blown a bunch of series, so I think the pressure, weirdly enough, in a series where they're huge underdogs, will be off, which actually kind of makes this a little interesting. So for the Winnipeg Jets, if they want to win this series, there's really only one way, in my opinion. Do those things that they became well known for in back-to-back seasons. When you played in Winnipeg, you were never getting more than 2. And they had a couple of waxings that they've waxed this Dallas team. So, granted, they won't have probably their whole roster of players, but as Dallas just illustrated, that isn't a death sentence. They're missing their highest scoring forward and their top defenseman in the last series. They were able to pull through. You get some timely saves, maybe you win an overtime or two, and you can kind of see yourself through. Never forget this. The Dallas Stars started 0-2 against the Vegas Golden Knights last year, the defending Stanley Cup champions. They fought their way back in that series to win in 7. Then they beat Colorado rather handily. They were up 3-1 on them. They closed it out in 6. Then they were up 2-1 on the Oilers. Can't be playing better, right? And then they just never won a game and just kind of faded into the night. It's so weird how the waves and ebb and flow goes in these playoff series. Mikko Rantanen did absolutely nothing through 3 games. What did he have, an assist? By the end of the series, he ended up tied for the leading playoff score alongside a guy who's also in this series, Kyle Connor. And I think that's a perfect introduction to one of my favorite bets that I found. And that is, who will have more points in this series? Mikko Rantanen, Kyle Connor. To me, this is an easy Kyle Connor, simply because he's going to be asked to do so much more. I truly feel like you saw in the last series, Kyle Connor has to factor in on almost every single Winnipeg Jets goal. But meanwhile, on the Dallas Stars side, the best part about the Dallas Stars is their team depth. Just like the Florida Panthers, I look at it as the Panthers, Stars, then maybe it was the Kings. You have 3 lines, and any given series, one line can take over. That Rantanen line went wild in the back half of that first series. But who knows if it's going to be the Marchment, Duchesne, Sagan line this series, or the Wyatt Johnston, Jamie Benn. Are they going to get Jason Robertson back? So when you look at the Dallas side, yeah, Rantanen could have a decent series, but the whole team there's so much production to be spread around. There will be more opportunities there for Kyle Connor, in my opinion, and I really like that plus 125 head-to-head against Mikko Rantanen. And, it's not out of the question for the Winnipeg Jets to, play like the Winnipeg Jets and not give up a ton of goals. They got the worst series ever out of the way, and they beat a red-hot Blues team. Can they go on the road and maybe win a game? They had one of the best road records in the NHL, and they just got waxed every single game on the road by a team who had won 14 in a row at home. Dallas, not the most imposing, but I still don't even know kind of what a Dallas Stars fan is like. I just truly feel like it's Dallas Cowboys fans who are just trying to kind of fill time until the NFL season starts. I've never heard someone say, oh, God, we have to go try to win a game in Dallas. I mean, Colorado was up 2-0 in the third period. Yes, Dallas came back, but it's not like it was some imposing building that they were playing in. Winnipeg should probably have an easier time on the road in this series than they did in the last series, and I just truly think that there's going to be no pressure on Winnipeg here. Everyone's looking at them like everyone's crowning the Dallas Stars Western Conference champions right now, and that takes a lot of pressure off of Winnipeg, which I think is actually good for them. Do I think that's going to win them the series? No, I do not, but I do think this series is going to be closer than people expect. I like teams who have depth. That Rantanen line stepped up big. Don't be surprised if that Sagan line steps up in this round. Or Jamie Benn and Wyatt Johnston. We'll see if it's Dadonov there or if Robertson comes back. But, I love when you have multiple lines who could come through, and you never know which one it's going to be any given series. And I think that Dallas's depth is going to be the thing that decides this series. I think one game it will be the Rantanen line. One game it will be the Sagan line. That's what you typically need to progress further and do well in the NHL playoffs. So I will go with Dallas to win this series. I wouldn't be shocked if Winnipeg, if you're seeing low scoring games every single game, which I have right here, this could be a full series of unders, because you may not remember this about Dallas. They actually love playing in those cheap games. Just go watch that Vegas Golden Knights series. They kind of got away from it in this final stretch of the season after the Rantanen trade when they went on that huge losing streak. But now getting some confidence here in the playoffs and getting through that Avalanche series. When you play a team like Winnipeg, let's see who's willing to commit the troops forward, because we could kind of get a little bit of a standoff series. This one might look closer to the Vegas Golden Knights Dallas Stars series than the Dallas Stars Colorado Avalanche. But I really do like that Kyle Connor over Mikko Rantanen in total points bet. That is what I have for you for this final series preview. Good luck to whatever bets you may have. Better luck to whatever bets I may already have. Make sure you're subscribed here to my YouTube channel if you enjoyed this video or any other videos that I put out there. Obviously, you guys always know you can come join all the other sniffers on the Patreon. That's where you get any last-second sniffs that I put out there before the games, and then I'll make sure I get those up there. That's where Josh puts his baseball picks, and like I said, that's where you can chat with the other sniffers and just exchange your ludicrous 15-leg tickets. Hopefully, I will see you over there. If not, I will see you for some daily NHL sniffs. Take it easy.